Today we are going to discuss about managerial accounting, and together with us today is three panels. Our first panel is Ms. Nur Atika from UIT Ampun Alam. How are you, Ms?
I'm fine.
Our next panel is Madam Nur Shahid, alumni of University of Liverpool. And our last panel is Mr. Nazmi, a postgraduate from Unitan Muazzam Shah. As we all know, management accounting is those areas of accounting concerned with financial planning, principally through the interpretation and the use of financial data for the importance of management of the business. So, Ms. Atika, can you please tell us a little bit about the history of managerial accounting before the 20th century?
Yeah.
People may realize that accounting really existed a long time ago, in around 500 years. It has existed as long as people trade with each other in market exchange. Even from high school, we learn about accounting history, right? Like our accounting figure, which is Luca Pacioli.
Yes.
The management accounting for information about transaction occurring within organization is much more recent phenomenon. First of all, we will start from before the early 19th century. All transactions occur between an owner and individual who are not a part of the organization, like material supplier, contract labor, and customer. Therefore, there were no level to be managed because literally there were no employee, no subordinate, and so on. There was no hierarchy in the business. Hence, measures of suction was so simple as the only thing to get done is collecting more cash from sales than cash paid out to supplier of the input factor of production, which is like material and contract labor.
Atika, as we all know, during the 19th century, there were industrial revolution, right? Can you tell us a little bit about the impact of industrial revolution towards management accounting?
Yes, Ken. The industrial revolution only had the ability to achieve economy of scale. Hence, it is efficient to commit a significant amount of capital into production. The first main capital investment being made is hiring worker on the long-term basis. The early management accounting measure were simple but seemed to serve well the need of owner. And the next is the goal of this measurement was to identify the cost for the intermediate and the final product of the firm and to provide a benchmark to measure the efficiency of the conversion process. And then, as formerly price were set through market exchange year by year, a demand arose for determine the price of the output. 19th century, the advancement in transportation and communication due to invention of railroad and telegraph had provided further opportunities for organization. Firm can coordinate acquisition of raw material and distribute final product over larger geographical area than in previous time. The best example of effective management accounting system could be found in railroad corporation, like as they were the largest enterprise at that time to oversee their diverse operation, and extensive summaries of internal operation were developed. Many measures were created, such as operation ratio, profitability ratio, and so on. The management accounting measure were designed to motivate and evaluate the efficiency of internal processes. There was little concern with measuring overall profit. They just had only one activity to do well, which is converting the raw material and final product. Further, advance in management accounting system were started in metal fabricating companies like our figures, Frederick Taylor, a scientist management engineer, propose allocating labor and material cost long with indirect costs to be aggregated together into product cost for the use of pricing litigation. The last one is in the middle 19th century. Since price paid of labor and material up and down, the standard were frequently updated to reflect the most recent association. As a result, the product cost is relatively accurate.
Moving on to Madam Shaheen, can you please tell us a little bit development that occurred in 20th century?
Thank you. Okay, let's continue to the 20th century. As Miss Atika already said, they already explained the development of management accounting. At the 20th century, there's still development of management accounting. It was started when DuPont Powder Company was formed as a combination of manufacturing and marketing organization, the first multi-activity diversified corporation. The problem arose was how to coordinate diverse activity and vertically integrated business type. The problem arose was how to coordinate diverse activities on vertically integrated business type. The most enduring management accounting innovation was the return on investment, also known as ROI. Since capital allocation remained a central management function, departmental managers were not held responsible for ROI performance. Only top management used ROI to help directing their allocation of capital and to evaluate the operating department performance. Donaldson Brown, the CFO, decomposed ROI measure into two combinations of efficient measure, which is the first one is operating ratio and the second one is sales to asset ratio. And however, division managers become responsible for the profitability and return on capital employed in their department after there was a decentralization in administration of General Motors Corporation. The central managers were now in the position of providing capital to diverse operating unit in attempt to evaluate the performance of the divisional managers.
Okay. I can see that there are already a wide range of development occur in the century.
Yes.
So after that, is there any other development occur?
That's right, that's really true. At this stage, practically all management accounting practices that are practiced today had been developed on that day, on the 1920 something. For example, cost account for labours, materials and overhead, budget and flexible budget, sales forecast, standard costing, variance analysis, transfer prices, divisional performance measures, and etc. All of it had been existed at that time, and all the more reason the pace of innovation seems to stop in the mid 1920s, as all the system, like already said, has already existed. Although there's complexity of manufacturing process continued to increase in the decade after 1920, there was a little incentive to continue to develop management accounting procedure, but it's only a few. It is not enough. The development of management accounting at those times and the complexity manufacturing were not on par. The management accounting was not able to calculate the cost accurately, yet the manager seems to ignore the fact and continue using the same old method. This lag eventually led to today's problem like distorted product cost, delays, and short-term performance do not reflect on organization economic position. And the problem continue until today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Madam Shaheen.
You're welcome.
Based on what Ms. Atika and Madam Shaheen has presented, Mr. Nazmi, can you please tell me tell us the causes to the slow growth of management accounting?
To properly address this issue, there are several points that I have outlined to be the causes to slow growth of management accounting development. So I would rather discuss this in two separate categories. So the first category is referring to the internal factor which is within the firm as the root to this cause. So first, many companies became dominated by senior executives who believed they could run the firm by the figures on reports instead of having fully understood the technology of their products and processes. So CEOs whose entire careers were spent in staff functions such as finance are lacking knowledge and uncomfortable with their firm's underlying technology. So they rely too much on the financial measures when making decisions, when in fact these might become less useful measures for corporate performance. So the second thing is that the current management accounting system seems to provide a misleading target for managerial attention. So because managers spend more time to understand and explain reported variances, which in fact have nothing to do with the actual operations. So also, the cost of collecting data and providing prompt reports to production managers may have been too high to permit real-time process control. It distracts managers from noticing the key factors important for production efficiencies. This leads to a fall in productivity. Hence, it helps very little in attempt to reduce costs and improve productivity as it fails to provide relevant set of measures that appropriately reflect the technology, products, processes, and competitive environment. So as manager focuses too narrowly on inputs that are insignificant, management accounting reports fails to provide accurate product costs. So costs are simply distributed to products that do not represent the resources consumed by each of the products. So the figure fails to measure the actual increase or decrease in economic value that has occurred during this period. While internal accounting systems focus too narrowly on producing a monthly earning reports to meet targets, managers are under pressure to meet short-term profit goals, and then they will tend to reduce discretionary cash outlays. Hence, investment for long run is decreasing. So the second category is referring to the external factor. So first, in this stagnation, the dominance of financial accounting statements has took place with more demand for periodic and audited financial statements. Second, we believe academics play a significant role to the cause of this problem. As what can be witnessed, academics were led astray by focusing too narrowly on a simplified model of firm behavior as being influenced strongly by economists' one product, one production process model. So in the case of advocating the separation of costs into fixed and variable costs, academicians never fully addressed the question of where fixed costs came from and how these costs needed to be covered by each of the products. So nor did academicians nor did academicians try to implement their ideas in environment of actual organization, which have hundreds or thousands of products with complex and multi-stage processes. So thus, academic literature concentrates on approach to analyze costs for single product and process. So lastly, the investors' interest in the business seem to have changed over the centuries due to having different understanding on how to measure a company's performance. So let's take the Venetian merchants who traveled to northern Italy and India before back to Venice by caravan story, where the investors back then were more interested in other factors than earnings. So because they believe there are probably many better indicators of a company's short-term performance. So all of these are the reasons why firms fail to serve the original purpose of management accounting, which is to help coordinate the diverse activities.
From this dialogue, we deduce there are three important challenges in management accounting system. First, it must provide timely and accurate information. This is to facilitate efforts to control costs, to measure and improve productivity, and to devise improved production processes. Second, it needs to report accurate product costs. This is because pricing decisions, introductions of new products, abandonments of obsolete products, and responses to the appearance of rival products can be made with best possible information on product resource demands. One, for large decentralized organizations, it is required for the systems to motivate and evaluate the performance of their managers. Fortunately, there are several opportunities we have. One of them is as the cost for collecting, processing, analyzing, and reporting information have been decreasing, the demand for excellent management accounting system is increasing. Ultimately, the computing revolution in the past 2 decades has reduced information collection and processing costs. As many production processes under direct control of digital computers, information can be recorded in real time. Hence, every transaction can be captured for subsequent analysis. The technology too can provide continual status reports. Thus, the extensive system now can accurately measure and attribute the resources demand to each product in a diverse product line. The technology has removed all barriers to design and implement effective management accounting system. I guess I could wrap up that an excellent management accounting system will not be guaranteed by the economy condition. Instead, the success depends on products that meet customers' needs due to efficient production, distribution, and marketing strategies. Management accounting system can be designed to support operations and organization strategies, but what is lacking is knowledge, in which it can only emerge from a continuing experimentation. Okay, this is the end of our discussion. Thank you to all panels for joining us today.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you for our okay.
Now, this is the end of our discussion. Thank you to our panels for joining. Thank you all.
Welcome.
Ya, awak sangat dah pula. Aduh. Terkenal pada ni. Dia tak boleh, tak apa.
Last kali last one.
Itu bloopers.
Next time.